Well, I was an atheist. I was a Christian until I was about 16, and then for some reason I was afraid to call myself an atheist. Instead, I called myself a Satanist instead. But that was really complicated to explain to people, so I decided to start calling myself an atheist when I turned 18. But the thing is, I still believed in ghosts and paranormal shit even after that. I don't know why, but I still did.
Yeah, well, you still qualified as an atheist.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't make that distinction. They think that, if you're an atheist, you have to believe in X, Y, and Z, because a lot of other atheists think the same way, but it's really just not true, at all. So that, the joke has always been made, getting atheists together is like herding a group of cats. So many people believe in so many different things. It's one of those things. But if you don't have any God beliefs, then you're good.
And that's all the definition is, you know? So it really is that simple. Yeah. So do you still believe in ghosts, or is that no longer?
Not really.
No.
So what made you
I stumbled. I saw one in Steven's videos about the whole Ouija board thing, and I'm like, damn, he got a point.
Thank you.
Oh man, the Ouija. I could talk about Ouija boards for so long, because within the whole history of how it's just a modern thing. That's the funniest thing to me. I didn't know that. It's just a modern...
It was originally supposed to just be a board game.
It's a Mattel board game that it's just a bunch of executives kind of put together. It doesn't have some sort of ancient tradition or anything.
The thing is, my mum is still terrified of them.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, whatever you do, don't go near a Ouija board. Just don't do it. Don't risk it.
I've had that as well. So
really?
I'm going to go to the most haunted location in England, and I'm going to play a Ouija board in the hotel.
Can I come, please?
Yeah, you can come. And then I'm just going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I think we're more likely to be killed by some burglar or serial killer than a ghost.
Bring it on.
Mitchell, you dropped all the ghosts and the paranormal stuff. How did that happen? Was it just watching YouTube, or?
Well, I used to be a big fan of Zach Bagans, Ghost Adventures guy.
Oh yeah.
I kind of realized this dude was a complete fucking fraud.
So I know they have these in the UK, but these ghost adventure shows, right? These people who go and they film, and they're a lot more. I'm sure they're more popular
boring.
here.
No offense.
Say again.
UK ghost shows are boring as shit.
Oh really? Oh.
Called out.
Even our ghosts are boring.
Boring.
They just come in. They just want a cup of tea. They just want to chat.
But they are more polite.
Yeah. They don't haunt you as well.
No.
They knock on the doors before they just walk through the walls.
Right, exactly. Right. They hold the doors open for you.
Yeah.
Right. It's so if you know anything about how reality television works, I got this is so. I don't think I've told this story, actually. So at a Christian camp I used to go to, there was a show from the Travel Channel I think it was called Bert the Conqueror. And they went around different places. This guy named Bert who does these cool things. And we had one of those blobs, kind of like you see in those summer camp movies and stuff. And he wanted to do it with a bunch of us kids there. And the way that, just to set up a few shots, maybe a minute of footage, 2 minutes of footage in the actual show, took all day to film. And they had all these kids doing all this stuff that was all, scripted and things like that. And that really woke me up when I was a teenager to this idea of, so much on TV is so scripted. You have no idea. It takes days for them to make this stuff that seems like it's on the fly, I don't know if you guys had any experience with that.
I literally do that.
Yeah,
Because it's
the
scripted, and I spend a long time, and so what looks like it took me 5 minutes. He's so articulate. It's no, I'm stupid. It just took me a hell of a long time to write it.
It's the same with me in my videos, because I don't script like you do, but I do a hell of a lot of research, and then I have bullet points that I talk about. So when I make a 20-minute video, I'll normally film for an hour just talking, and then I have so much stuff to cut out. It's just no, that doesn't work. No, I didn't express that properly.
So Mitchell, if I was to come to you right now and say, Mitchell, I believe in ghosts. They're out there, man. You're not believing hard enough. You haven't seen what I've seen, man. What would you say to that?
I've been in that situation before. Fine.
Probably good, yeah.
You just let people believe what they want as long as it's not harming anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think ghost beliefs are probably some of the more... Well, I say that they're less harmless, but...
I think believing in ghosts is harmless, but it's when psychics...
But you know what? I take that back
because the
people who believe in demons, who are this person is being filled with like they say a lot of like that's a rhetoric about gay people and stuff.
I don't know. When most people tell me they believe in demons, they always bring up, "Have you seen The Exorcist?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, yeah, that movie, that Hollywood
that
movie,
documentary."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, have you seen SpongeBob?
Scarier than the demon.
That's true. The Flying Dutchman is also part of yeah, but like when people start talking about demons, that can be kind of problematic too because it's like this person is possessed. We have to make rules and
It really is an interesting question about when to leave it. So, for example, a lot of people have the superstition of touching wood.
Oh, yeah.
For good luck. Okay, now, the part of me wants to look at that and go, that's irrational. It's silly. It's not true. There's no evidence for it. But I don't care. Like, they're not hurting anyone. Yeah. But the thing is, if someone really does believe that, it leaves them susceptible to believing other stuff, which is divisive and is nasty. So it's hard to find a balance of when to say something or when not to. For me, I draw the line on how much of a friend I am to that individual. So if I know them well, I'm going to grill them. But if I don't, then I tend to leave it at that.
What about when I tell you that every time I see a patch of clovers, I still look for a 4-leaf clover, so it's good luck?
I'd just say that, do you actually believe in the luck or is it a habit?
It's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
There you go. So there's no problem. There's no problem.
There you go. I love having two co-hosts. They get to have banter all on their own, and I don't have to do anything.
Ask Stephen a question real quick. Or
very quickly, Mitchell, and then we're going to go ahead and go to our next caller.
Okay, Stephen, why do people believe in paranormal beliefs? Is it just because we're scared of death so much, or?
It's a really good question. I'll try and give you a succinct enough answer. From what I can tell, and I'm no expert, but from what I can tell from all of the conversations and all of what I've learned, we haven't evolved to be rational. That seems to be the really big issue. So there's a good story that Richard Dawkins has given before about how natural selection works and how it selects things that aren't necessarily rational. So if we're in the woods or we're in a hunting, gathering situation and there's a rustle in the bush behind us, we either make the rational assumption, which is that it's probably leaves or a very small animal or whatever it might be. And most times you're going to be correct. Or you make the irrational assumption that it's a big bad monster that's going to kill you. And all it takes is one time for you to be rational and for the answer to be irrational, and a lion will grab you and you're out of the, especially if you haven't reproduced by then, you're pulled out of the gene pool, and so genes propagate which see patterns when they're not there. And I think that's one of the largest reasons why we are always going to be somewhat irrational. It's in us to be this way. I don't think we'll ever really get out of it. And then when you combine that with the fact that we've also evolved and we are in this state where we really think that we matter, and we're finding out more and more that, you know what, Earth isn't the only planet that can possibly harbour life, and there are thousands of
trillions of galaxies.
Trillions of galaxies. Evolution is a process that doesn't need a conscious mind. There's no God there, for example. All of these bitter pills are really hard to swallow for a hell of a lot of people, because it just means that you're not the centre. In fact, you're the opposite. You matter not one part whatsoever in the grand scheme. And a lot of people just can't swallow that pill. It's just too difficult.
Do you not think that on like a smaller scale, though, a lot of it is about us not being able to cope well with loss? This idea of us wanting to see our loved ones again, hoping there's something more.
Yeah, I think so. It is largely that with the selection process, whatever works best for increasing our propagation at the gene level, not as the individual level, is going to be what's selected for. And we don't need to know what happens after we die because it's irrelevant. You've either by then passed on your genes or you've helped your loved one.
Well, nowadays, I just think nothing happens after you die. I know that's kind of a...
Yeah, exactly. So I think it is partly...
We actually did a collab on like sort of coming to terms with death, didn't we? Which was quite interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, I think death is very much up there. Freud was pretty much on the money when he did point out that observation.
And sometimes beliefs that we have may be true, but they don't provide any benefit for us. Like the belief of not having an afterlife or something that doesn't necessarily provide me a benefit.
Maybe it does, though. You know.
I think
here's one.
Okay. Well, hang on. Let's give Mitchell our farewell. Thank you, Mitchell, for calling in. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, man, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
for you.
Yeah, thank you for calling in. All right, Stephen. Now you can hit me with this thing. What are you trying to tell me?
You'll never have this conversation again. When we die, we won't be able to spend time together, and so every moment we do is all the more precious.
it's like I said at Faithless Forum.
Yeah.
If this is the one life you have, why not make the most of it?
Okay, so I can see the existentialism coming in here and being like, we got to make our own purpose and stuff like that. I think that's a conclusion that because like I'm going to say this, like Christian indoctrination, right, didn't allow me to think that way. Mm-hmm. It made me think in terms of, this is the only life I have, so I got to make it count in the sense of, or else I'll have a punishment and or reward afterwards, or else I won't be with my Lord for eternity and stuff like that. And so like the idea of eternity was really something that was drilled into my mind as something really important. Like when I figured out like, I'm not going to live forever and I'm not going to matter to anybody one day. Like that hit me kind of hard. That was one of the hardest things for me to get over, I think.
Yeah, but for now, for all you know, for all you experience, you are going to matter. So make the most of that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, right now, you doing the show, you are mattering to people. You are making a difference to people. I mean, people are calling up. That means you make a difference.
It's for you, man.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. I can get these guys on more. This is great stuff. I love this.
Should we just boost his ego a little bit more?
Oh, man.
Why not? He's going to die and never be remembered forever, so let's do him a favor.
Yeah, well, you're going to die too, Steven. So what difference does it make?
So, where's your evidence?
Oh, man, we got
what we do in life echoes in eternity.
Oh, yes.
Until, like, humanity's gone, and then it doesn't.
There you go. We could just end the show just right there and then just, later on. But we do have some more calls on the line.